This doesn't belong in a modern neighborhood. That's what she said, staring down at baby Jesus like he was loitering. It's exclusionary, it's outdated, it's too religious. She said this while standing on my lawn, under a 10-foot inflatable Santa. And then, just to make it worse, she quoted Leviticus. I knew it was coming. Every December, Karen makes her rounds like a department store security guard with an agenda. Too many lights? Violation, inflatable anything? Citation. Santa with sunglasses? Undignified. But this year I added something new. A handcrafted nativity scene, wooden frame. Hay from my cousin's farm. Hand-painted figures. Mary, Joseph, baby Jesus, 3 wise men, and yes, even a camel that lights up. It was subtle, it was beautiful, it was mine. And that made it a problem. Karen arrived within 24 hours. Clipboard in hand, frown locked in. Wearing a Christmas sweater that said, Silent Night, Ho Enforcement Division. I thought it was a joke. It was not. Per HOA Article 6.4, overt religious displays are discouraged. Discouraged doesn't mean banned. You're making a statement. It's Christmas. It's not inclusive. That's a nativity scene, not a manifesto. She squinted at the manger. I don't see a menorah. You're welcome to add one. Don't be sarcastic. I'm being sincere. Let the lawn's open to peace. She stepped back, took a photo. Then, in her usual flair for misapplied theology, said, Leviticus 26 warns against graven images. I stared at her. Karen, that's not even remotely what that means. I was a Bible study leader for 2 years. I teach theology at the university. None, I have the HOA charter. I have a master's degree in divinity. She paused. I'm issuing a citation. The notice arrived the next morning. Typed in 11-point garamond. Signed K. Sterling, HOA President. Attached with red ribbon. For the season, I guess. Your property is in violation of the Aesthetic Neutrality Clause of Article 6.4. Please remove or modify the religious display to reflect non-denominational standards. Deadline, December 15th. I read it, then reread it, then walked outside and added an LED halo above the manger. Later that night, I posted a photo on the neighborhood board. 1 theologian, 1 nativity scene, and 1 HOA citation walk into Advent. The reactions were fast. Now it looks amazing. Karen quoting scripture? We're doomed. Preach. Keep religion off the lawn. Thank you for standing firm. In one comment, anonymous but obvious, neutrality means everyone feels safe. This is your last warning. I printed that comment, framed it, placed it behind the camel. And just to make sure I wasn't misunderstood, I called my lawyer. This isn't persecution, it's policy. That's what she told the local news. She actually said it, while standing in front of her inflatable snowman holding a sign that read, Season's greetings, not sermons. The story broke faster than I expected. Someone, probably Brenda from the board, leaked a screenshot of Karen's citation to a local Facebook group. Then a reporter picked it up. Then the community group. Then the university students. By Thursday, the nativity scene had its own hashtag. Let the manger? Karen was furious. She called an emergency HOA session again. She brought a binder. Label, Religious Escalation, Community Risk Report. Inside, photos of my nativity scene, a small menorah someone added beside it, a printed-out comment from the Facebook thread that said, Karen's holiday spirit died in 1998. She read from the binder like it was the Constitution. The HOA charter calls for seasonal neutrality. We cannot allow one resident to dominate the holiday narrative. Holiday narrative? I asked. You mean the birth of Christ? This is not a church. It's my lawn. It's our neighborhood. Patricia raised a hand. Let's let him respond. I stood calm, folder in hand. The charter does not ban religious displays. It simply discourages anything that excludes community participation. I've never asked for exclusivity. I've invited additions. I've offered space. In fact, I reached into my bag, pulled out a small sign, hand-painted, glossed. Faith, hope, room for all. It's going under the manger tonight. Karen looked like she bit into a lemon wedge coated in glitter. You're weaponizing theology. I'm displaying Christmas. Then I dropped the real bomb. I've spoken with a First Amendment attorney. If this board attempts to enforce the removal of a personal religious display from private property, I'm prepared to file an injunction. Under state and federal protections, that would qualify as viewpoint discrimination. Silence. You could hear a snowflake land on Karen's pride. Brenda leaned forward. He's right, Tom mumbled. Technically, yeah. Karen slammed the binder shut. Fine, keep your nativity. But don't be surprised when someone files a real complaint. That night, I found something taped to my mailbox. A small envelope. Inside, a handwritten note. I don't believe in God, but your scene gave me peace today, thank you. No name, just folded, left gently. I walked to the manger, placed it under Joseph's staff, then looked up at the sky. Clear. Still. And above it all, a 6-foot glowing angel I'd installed just that afternoon. Her trumpet lit in white. Not to provoke, but to proclaim. Angels aren't neutral. That's what she opened with. A direct quote. Shouted from across the street while holding her phone like it was a weapon. The angel was too much for her. 6 feet tall, backlit wings, warm golden glow, not flashing, not animated, just standing there, soundless. Karen said it was visual aggression. Then came the letter. Not a citation this time, a petition. Hand-delivered in an HOA envelope with gold foil snowflakes. Inside, we, the undersigned, believe this display to be religiously overbearing and disruptive to the seasonal harmony of Blue Willow Lane. 7 names. All printed in the same font, all signed in the same handwriting. And one of them? B.J. Joseph. I held it up to Elena across the street. She forged a petition. Elena nodded. Technically she composed it. She signed it as a wise man. That's commitment. Instead of arguing, I escalated theologically. I added a small Star of David beside the angel, a printed Quranic verse about peace beside the menorah, a sign that read, Faith in all forms welcomes light. Then I posted on the HOA forum, new additions to the Nativity, open to any respectful symbol of belief or even disbelief. Peace is the point. It's spread. Fast. 2 houses down, the Nguyen's added a Buddhist lotus lantern. Lot 16 put up a Diwali diya. Even the Miller kids made a popsicle stick UFO and labeled it. Alien inclusion, just in case. Karen lost it. She called for a formal ruling from the city, claimed the block was turning into a spiritual amusement park. Her exact words. I know because she said them on live TV. A local reporter had shown up for a feel-good story. He got footage of Karen mid-tantrum shouting into the camera, This is not freedom of religion, it's religious anarchy. The segment went viral, titled, Nativity Nightmare, One Woman's Fight Against Faith on the Lawn. Meanwhile, my inbox filled with, Thank you for making room for everyone. My son saw the angel and asked if heaven had a neighborhood too. We added a light for my mom who passed. Hope that's okay. The lawn glowed brighter each night. Not just from decorations, but from something else. Something that didn't come from a box or a policy. Karen tried one last move. She parked her car in front of my house, sat there with the headlights aimed at the angel. For 4 hours, like she was hoping it would blink first. The angel didn't move, didn't flinch, didn't fall, because symbols only fall when people stop standing behind them. And this neighborhood was standing. I've spoken with my attorney. That's how she started the email. Subject line, unlawful theological encroachment. I almost choked on my peppermint mocha. Karen didn't just threaten action this time. She filed a formal cease and desist, claimed my display violated the HOA charter, municipal lighting code, and, this is real, the spiritual quiet of winter. She attached screenshots of my angel, the menorah, the lotus lantern, the UFO, and added, the homeowner has created a holy circus. It's no longer a lawn, it's a battlefield of beliefs. The board called an emergency hearing. Again, I arrived early, wore my best sweater, brought cookies, and copies of the Religious Land Use and Institutionalized Persons Act. Karen arrived with a briefcase, wearing all black. She passed out color-coded binders. Title page, Operation Neutral Turf. She presented for 20 minutes. Charts, maps. A quote from Deuteronomy taken completely out of context. At one point, she called my nativity scene theologically aggressive. Even Tom, clipboard king, squinted. Do you have proof of aggression? The angel glared at me. Then it was my turn. I opened with a slideshow, not of theology, of community. Photos of neighbors placing lights together, kids drawing stars in chalk on the sidewalk, the Miller boys standing beside the alien inclusion saucer, arms crossed like defenders of Earth. The handwritten note from my mailbox, Thank you for peace. I spoke clearly. This isn't about a baby in a manger anymore. It's about the freedom to honor what gives us hope, and the right to say, this house, this yard, This street welcomes light. Brenda teared up. Patricia nodded slowly. Even Tom put down his clipboard. Karen, however, stood up. So you're saying anyone can put up anything? As long as it's respectful. And what if someone worships a goat? Then I guess we'll need more hay. The room laughed. Karen didn't. The board voted. Result 3-0. New amendment passed. Residents may display religious, cultural, or philosophical symbols during seasonal periods, so long as they remain respectful and non-disruptive. They called it the Festival of Light Clause. Karen stormed out. Again, but not before muttering, "This isn't over." That night, the lights felt warmer. The angel glowed softer. The menorah flickered strong. And one house down the block hung a little sign. Faith lives here, whatever shape it takes. I'm moving. That's what she told the board. No dramatic speech, no last-minute citation. Just 2 words, clipped short and bitter, like the frost on her car windshield. The U-Haul showed up on December 23rd. Karen Sterling, president of the HOA, self-appointed guardian of seasonal decorum, was gone by sundown. Her porch empty, wreathless, no lights, not even a goodbye post on next door. The neighborhood didn't mourn. It exhaled. Later that night, the angel glowed brighter than ever. We held a small candlelight gathering in front of the Nativity. People came with mugs of cocoa. One neighbor brought his guitar. Kids handed out candy canes. Mrs. Patel read a short verse from the Quran about compassion, and just before it ended, I stepped forward, held up the note someone had left me weeks earlier. "I don't believe in God, but your scene gave me peace today." I read it aloud. No sermon, no debate, just those words. Then I said, "That's what this season is for. Not control, not silence, but peace. And room for anyone looking for light." No one clapped. They didn't need to. Instead, someone placed a lantern next to the angel. Then another. And another. Within 10 minutes, the yard glowed with dozens of tiny lights. Glass, paper, battery-powered, handmade. A soft chorus of gentle rebellion. The next day I got a letter. No envelope, just taped to the inside of my storm door, written in blocky cursive, unmistakably Karen's. For what it's worth, I didn't hate the message. I hated how it made me feel ignored. You had the spotlight. I only had the rules. I stood on the porch reading that sentence again and again. I didn't frame it. I didn't post it. I folded it once and slid it behind the angel. Christmas Eve arrived with clear skies and frozen grass. Families walked past the display, now expanded with symbols from a dozen beliefs, and even a blank plaque for those still searching. A woman I didn't recognize asked, "Are you the one who started this?" I smiled. I just added the first figure." She looked around, nodded at the lights. Well, I think you started something bigger." And that night, just before bed, I stepped outside one last time. The angel glowed, the lights flickered, and the street felt still. Not silent, not empty, just still. I looked up at the stars, whispered, "Peace on her too," and meant it.